Hi there, it's Lukasz for the Tech Travel Geeks, and this is a quick how-to video for the Realme 8 Pro smartphone, walking through setting up dual SIM cards and using a microSD card. As a bonus, I might add some nice footage from beautiful Scotland, because why wouldn't I? Today, I'll be using my main SIM card from 3, as well as my secondary Lebara one, to show you how to set it up, in case, for example, you need a personal number and a work number on your device. I also add my 64GB SanDisk card to expand the built-in 128GB of memory, and I'll explain later in the video how to use it. Finally, I'll need a SIM ejector tool, which can be any you might have lying around, or you can just use a paper clip. It's always best to be sure that the phone is switched off. It doesn't really matter that much, but it gives me some comfort. I'm not entirely sure why. The SIM card slot is on the left hand side of the device when you look at the phone from the front, so let's take it out. The slots are not signed, but the one furthest from the microSD card slot is the main one, so let's put my main SIM card there. The printed side of the SIM card should be facing upwards, with the cut in the top left corner and the pins facing downwards. Similar with the second SIM card, so let's put it in the middle, face up, and the cut in the top left corner. Finally, the microSD card, again with the print upwards, and it should fit in nicely. Now, holding the phone with the screen upwards, let's put the SIM card slot with the printed side still up and put it all the way in. Great, we can now turn the device back on. Once the screen loads and the phone recognizes that there are two SIM cards, we actually get a pop-up notification letting us know about the current setup and the decisions that the phone made for us. In this case, the phone decided that it will ask me which SIM card to use before each call and to use SIM2's data, but I actually want to change both of those settings. So let's hit Modify Settings now. This takes us to SIM card and mobile data menu, which we can actually find by opening the notification shade, going to the settings menu and opening the first menu. Quite handy. In there, you can check the status of both SIM cards and change the displayed phone number, which I actually did earlier as well. You can also enable or disable the SIM card, rename it, for example to work or personal, enable or disable roaming for the SIM card, enable or disable Wi-Fi calling, change the default network name, check the access point name, or choose the carrier. You can obviously do it all for both SIM cards. Back on the main screen, you can enable or disable mobile data overall, as well as toggle the use of internet during calls on secondary data SIM. I'm not entirely sure why I would want to use the internet while on a call, but maybe that's useful for someone. We then have the most important part, the default card settings. For calls, the initial option was Always Ask, which means that for each call, I would have to decide if I should use SIM1 or SIM2. That might be useful if you want to make some calls from your work phone, but others from personal, and you want to ensure that you don't want to call from the wrong number. Here's what it would look like. When you press Call, you can choose the SIM card for that specific call. There's also an option to remember your choice for each number separately, so your phone will remember it for the next time. That can be very useful actually. However, I only use a single phone number for my calls, so instead of selecting it each time, I'll just set the default to SIM1, which is my main SIM card. What's good is that you don't need to care about default SIM cards or switching between them when answering the phone. Here's what it looks like when my girlfriend calls me. First calling my SIM1, you can see that the call is coming via SIM1. And then the SIM2. Without me having to change anything, I can still get the call on either of the SIM cards. Very convenient. Back to the menu, you can also select the default for mobile data. In here, there's no Always Ask option, because the internet is being used constantly in the background, so you wouldn't be able to pick it each time. Instead, you can pick either SIM1 or SIM2 as the default and change it if needed. I actually need to change mine to SIM1, so let's do that now. The phone says that it will search for networks after the change, but it's done automatically in the background, so no problems there. I haven't found a way to change the default SIM card for text messages. It looks like the phone defaults to SIM1. However, you can change which message goes from which SIM card easily by pressing the purple SIM card and switching between them. What's good is that you can send the messages from SIM 1 or SIM 2 and you'll still have them in one conversation. Coming back to the SIM menu, there's also a data usage screen which can show you how much data you've used on each of the SIM cards, and you can also give permissions to individual apps or games. And you can also enable data saving for each SIM card. This will stop the phone from downloading data in the background, which can be very useful when traveling. I wish I had this feature when I was in Canada a few years ago and used up all of my allowance on the first day there. Before we go, let me briefly talk about the SD card. You can find it in the settings and scroll down to storage, where you will find how much space different types of files take on the phone, but there's also the SD card entry at the very bottom. In there, you can see how much storage you're using and the total storage on the card. I actually formatted the card before using it, but it's always best practice to format it again if you don't have any data you want to use in the future. It's quite interesting to see how many times they ask if you're definitely sure that you want to format it. Better safe than sorry, I guess. There's an option to transfer files from your device to the SD card. You can either copy photos, videos, audio, documents, or app installation files. For example, if I wanted to copy some photos, I can pick when they were taken. Over 6 months, 3 to 6 months, over 1 month, or within the last month. Let's say that I wanted to move some recent photos. I can either pick a single photo or all of them. In this example, let's try to move the photos of some lovely ice cream from Mary's Milk Bar in Edinburgh. Just select them and click the tick button at the top right corner. You can also add some more files, just like with photos. Once you're done, just click Start Transferring and the files will be moved to the SD card. To find them, just open the File Manager app and scroll down to the SD card at the bottom. Once you're there, just find the DCIM folder for photos and voila, the 2 missing photos are just there. Unfortunately, in the recent versions of Android, it's not easy to move games or apps to the SD card. So unless you root your device, I don't believe it's easy to do. However, you can use the phone to save all the photos and videos in the SD card. Just open the camera app, go to Settings, Advanced Settings, and click Save to SD card Preferred. You can also set the SD card as the default location for screen recording, screenshots, and Bluetooth downloads from within the SD card menu we saw earlier. Some individual apps will also allow you to make use of the SD card. You can, for example, change the location of downloaded movies in the Netflix app, so while you're on Wi-Fi, you can download a movie you might want to watch later. Just set the default location to SD card, allow that app to access it, and you'll be all set. You can now download the Army of the Dead without worrying about taking too much storage on your phone. That's it for today's video. I hope you found it useful. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks to see more videos from us. But for now, thanks for watching.